and welcome back to more Sonic Unleashed. Last time, Eggman split the world into pieces, and we met an amnesiac named Chip, and we were trying to help him get his memory back. So we are in Apotos, and our first official stage is Windmill Isle Act 2.
Here we go!
Alright, so, being the first boost Sonic game, there's a lot of boosting involved. This is very reflex-based. If you can avoid certain obstacles, like I just ran into something there, you can go really fast. You know, for example, this, tests reflexes more than, like, platforming skills. So, the next several Sonic games would borrow this same style, and I think perfect it, to be honest. I think this game does a really good job for a first attempt at a new formula for Sonic, but it definitely has some rough spots, as we'll see later. This is the first 3D Sonic, main series 3D Sonic since Sonic 06, and was sort of I want to say like a soft reboot, which is ironic because 06 is also kind of a reboot. 06 wasn't very critically well received, so they ended up basically rebooting it with Sonic Unleashed, known as Sonic World Adventure in Japan, which I think says a lot about the intent of this game, of being sort of like a pseudo-successor to the Adventure line. I think I just skipped the collectible, actually. I want to go back. So there we go. So we have 7 Moon Medals and 3 Sun Medals in the stage. We also collected a record just now, which is used for a sound test that we can unlock later on. And I think one of the most striking things about this game like, the strongest first impression this game makes is its presentation. Because even to this day, it looks pretty good, actually. A lot of people still think the opening cutscene is basically one of the best cutscenes in the franchise, and I would actually agree from like a technical level, and also just, you know, the characters, banter is really good, just Sonic, being Sonic, basically, and so on. The in-game graphics obviously are not as good as the pre-rendered. By the way, they're QuickTime events, because this was a 2008 game, and a lot of games were trying to do QuickTime events back then. Quite frankly, the in-game cutscenes tend to not look as good because they kind of lag. This game really pushes the consoles to their limits at times, despite being relatively early into the console's lifespans. It uses the Hedgehog engine, which, if I recall correctly, one of the big components of the Hedgehog engine is global illumination, which I think is part of the reason why the game graphically still holds up really well, even if the performance leaves a lot to be desired at times. It runs at a capped 30 frames per second, on 360 at least, and it tends to drop frames a lot. We'll see it more in the next stage, by the way, spikes, so you have to jump there. Yeah, it's very reflex-based, so it's very easy to miss collectibles. We only collected 4 of 7 Moon Medals, so yeah, it's definitely not the easiest game to collect things in, but that is our first stage done, our first official stage done, not counting Act 1, which is kind of a tutorial level. We got an A rank. That's pretty good, considering this game is not easy to S rank, like I said before. So we got the soundtrack for Windmill Isle Day, and we have 1 full bar of EXP, so we're gonna put that into the Werehog's combat level. So you don't actually need a full bar, so we can actually put in whatever experience we have, and it'll still count for the next level. With that being said, let's see what happens next.
Still no luck finding anyone who knows me.
Don't worry about it. Maybe your memory will come back on its own. Remember anything yet?
Nope.
Oh well.
Sonic? Whoa! Mr. Monster Guy is back!
So when the sun goes down, I turn into this?
Are you okay, Sonic?
I'm fine. I just need to be careful who sees me like this.
Sonic! Sonic, look!
What is it?
Oh, it's hopeless! The whole planet is split apart! We're doomed! Oh.
Mister?
Oh.
Hey, mister! Hey, don't cry. Ice cream. How about some more of this super tasty stuff?
What good is ice cream at a time like this? Oh.
Sonic, your arm just stretched.
Weird. But it could be useful.
Oh.
So when night falls, the townspeople become depressed, and Sonic becomes the werehog with stretchy arms and a whole exclusive set of abilities. So we actually have to go back into the action stage. I realize it's actually called the entrance stage, and that's the action stage, now that I think about it. But we have our first night level, Windmill Isle Act 1, but at night. So the night levels are very different than the day levels. They are basically... Oh, your friend went up that way, Sonic. Quick, let's go after him. They're basically like very 2008 action game style levels. Basically at this time, games like God of War were super popular. So a lot of games, a ton of games tried to capitalize on this. See that bright hazy stuff that comes out of the enemies you beat? I call it Dark Gaia Force. Gathering it fills up your Unleashed gauge. Once it's filled, you can press right bumper to go all crazy powered up. So, right bumper is Unleashed, left bumper is Guard, left trigger, right trigger, Run, X and Y are Attack. You can chain together different combos, like so. A is Jump, you can also double jump. And B is like pick up and like grab objects. So it's a very different style of game, and this is, I would say, the easily the most polarizing aspect of Sonic Unleashed. Enemies drop yellow gem-looking things when you beat them, right? Those are Chaos Orbs, and they give you EXP. That means level up, Sonic. So if you want to get stronger, grab all the Chaos Orbs you can. Yeah, this is easily the most polarizing aspect of the game, because obviously, whether a beat-em-up style works in a Sonic game is very up for debate. Personally, I actually don't dislike these stages that much. Yeah, we can just break through doors, we already discovered that, thanks Chip. I don't entirely feel like this fits Sonic. Like, it's not the first thing I think of when I think Sonic gameplay, but for what it's worth, I think they do an alright job with it. You have a lot of combos once you unlock them, because you actually have to unlock combos through leveling up, which is an issue I do have. Like, we don't even have a dash attack at the moment, which is a little bit hard to get used to because I tend to spam the dash attack. Another mechanic is once an enemy has the arrow above its head, you can do a quick time event to do a finishing move. The more health it has, the harder the quick time event will be to pull off, so you actually want to weaken the enemy beyond when it first appears. So it's just a lot of this, little short navigation segments. Nothing too fancy, definitely more exploration-based. There's lots of attacks depending on the order you hit X or Y buttons. You can take a look at them from the pause menu skills option. This game is at least nice enough to not attack you in the menu. It's like, or in the cutscene, it doesn't let the enemies try to attack you. So another thing I wanted to mention is I don't like Tails in this game. So Tails, ever since like I first played Sonic, which was a long time ago, Tails was one of my favorite characters. And I don't like his characterization in any modern game from this game onwards, to be blunt. You know how Tails stops a missile from destroying Station Square, and it's a big moment for his character, and then my issue with that is every subsequent game kind of ignores that and throws a lot of his characterization out the window. You know, him not being able to stand up to all the Dark Gaia monsters despite having, you know, tons of gadgetry, probably a plane, potentially. I think of like in Sonic Heroes or Sonic 06, where he has like bombs and things, ring bombs. I miss the Tails who can actually like stand up for himself, and I am planning to go through all of the Boost Sonic games because I've already gone through all of the Adventure Sonic games, except Shadow the Hedgehog, which I refuse to do a Let's Play of. So I feel like it'll become more obvious as we go along, but this is like the start of Tails kind of taking a backseat. In fact, a lot of characters take a backseat role in this game. We have a grand total of one playable character, and that's Sonic. Albeit two forms of Sonic, but still, we only have one playable character, technically. Which was a big deal at the time, because, you know, the adventure games had a ton of playable characters, like several different gameplay styles. Adventure 1 had 6 gameplay styles, 2 had 3. 06 had so many different characters, like 9 characters total, that this was a rather dramatic change in formula to just have Sonic playable. To this day, I'm not entirely sure how to feel about this. Honestly, I kind of like having just a couple really focused gameplay styles, and not having to like worry about tons of other styles to get used to, like with 06. But I kind of miss having Sonic's friends in a major role, because Tails and one other character are the only returning friends. So yeah, it's a really small cast by comparison, and that's going to be the trend for a few of the upcoming Sonic games that I'm hoping to get through eventually. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, because I do like a lot of Sonic characters, and I wish a lot of them didn't get kind of thrown out because of 06 being so poorly received, because quite frankly, there were characters like Silver the Hedgehog, whose fault... It isn't his fault he debuted in a really bad game. And I feel like there's always something interesting with Silver that they could utilize, but they never do because they never want to take that risk. So balancing across small platforms is going to be a recurring theme, and I do not like it in this game. It's really difficult to control. So I hope I don't die too many times, because I'm gonna be honest, if the really steep S rank requirements weren't already a clue, this game is not easy. This game, I would say, is the hardest modern Sonic game, and that's, in all fairness, not a high bar, because a lot of them are really easy. It's also probably the longest modern 3D Sonic game. It's gonna take a while. Might be kind of a long playthrough compared to most Sonic games, because I am hoping to show off a lot of this game. I don't think I'll show off everything. It's kind of a thing I do where, like, Sonic games are so brutal to 100% that I almost never 100% Sonic games on this channel. I still never went back and did the Adventure 2 stuff that I'm pretty sure I said I was gonna show off some of the alternate missions, but I don't think I ever did, because it's such a grind to get through them all. So, yeah. I would like to show off most of the major action stages, maybe some of the side content, but not a ton. Getting every moon medal is ridiculous because of how fast you go and how hard some of these are to find. There also aren't a ton of resources on this game from what I've seen. It came out in kind of a weird time, I think, where, like, the internet wasn't as readily available, so it feels to me like it's harder to find, you know, footage and such of this game in comparison to, like, you know, say, more recent Sonic games. It's not really a game that I've seen a ton of coverage of for, like, 100% guides and such. So yeah, I don't even know where all the moon medals are. So yeah, we can move this box here to try to collect this moon medal. And we have a little bit of a switch puzzle where we have to find the two colored, gems hidden around here. By the way, these are Eggman's robots in this game. I kind of like these designs. They have the 4 lights on them, which I like, because I'm pretty sure... Is that just an 06 thing, or is that actually a normal thing? I know in 06, Eggman has, like, the 4, like, buttons on his jacket, and that kind of gives the same vibe, as that. Albeit Eggman's 06 design, I would say, is pretty terrible. A lot of the character designs are not good in that game, if you ask me. They're kind of lankier, I'd say. I think the Sonic design, not a great time to talk about Sonic's design as we're playing the Werehog, but a regular Sonic's design is one of the best designs in the entire series, actually, from this game. We're getting close to the end of Apotos, but we still have a ways to go, so I think we're gonna, actually wrap things up here for now. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more Sonic Unleashed.